Are you going to press go?
Back in 2010, when we had the snowmageddon on the East Coast, I had to shovel my driveway, and I hate shoveling snow. So I shoveled a little bit because it was 18 inches. I was worn out after a period of time, so I went back in the house. And then I heard some people talking outside of my home, and I thought, what's going on? So I looked through the window, and it was three. I thought there were three kids out there. So I walked out there, and I saw Luis. He lived 2 doors down. I said, "You shoveling the driveway? That's so nice." He said, "Yeah." He said, "We did online church, and the pastor told us, do something nice for someone instead of staying at home doing nothing." He said, "So, my friends were over, and we thought, hey, let's go shovel someone's driveway." And I said, "Okay, I can pay you." He said, "Nope, nope." And I said, "Come on, Luis, let me pay you something." He said, "No, no, no, we're not taking any money." His 2 friends were like this, "No, no, no." And I said, "I got to give you something." He kept saying, "No, no, no." So I went back in the house, and of course I watched them like, what are these kids doing? Now, they weren't kids. They were 18 years old. And I watched them. They were outside. They had like their little party going on. They were talking, they were laughing. They took off their clothes, their jackets, threw them in the snow. And in less than an hour, they had my complete driveway cleared. And I went out there again. I said, "You all let me pay you something." They said, "No, we're doing what we were told. Do something for someone else." And they took care of my little world of the community. So wherever Luis is with his 2 friends, I will always say, thank you, because I hate shoveling snow. But they took care of me. They took care of my driveway so I could just roll out there without any issues. So today we're going to talk to Cesar. I'm going to introduce you to Cesar before he comes on the stage. Cesar Cucufate is a small business development manager for the Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation. Cesar leads the Grow Prince George's program supporting BIPOC and minority entrepreneurs through training, funding access, and business development initiatives. His work has directly supported more than 550 businesses, driving job creation and economic growth across the county. With a background in economic development and public service, Cesar is passionate about expanding opportunity, especially within the, especially within the underserved and Hispanic communities. Cesar, welcome to Lead Like You Mean It, people.
Good morning, or good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me, Carla. I appreciate, being able to be a part of this and being a part of your show. I'm very excited for what we got in store.
All right. Thank you, Cesar. So from this episode, we believe that if you take care of the people will take care of the mission. Today's conversation is about leadership that builds communities, how leaders create access, expand opportunity, and empower entrepreneurs so entire communities can thrive. Cesar, I'm so glad to have you. So we met, I can't remember where we met. Oh, we met at the Prince George's County Hispanic breakfast. And when I saw you, I think you were a moderator for a panel. And yes, I saw you on stage, and I said to myself, sitting there, finishing up my breakfast, I said, "Oh, I need to have Cesar." Remember, I cornered you. I was like, "I got to. Can you come on my show?"
Yes, no, but I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Sure. Well, Cesar, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you introduced me, I am the small business development manager here. I am Cesar or Cesar, depending on whether or not you ask my mama. So I'm a Prince George's County native, pretty much. You know, I went to school here for my entire school career. I went to Eleanor Roosevelt right up the street. I went to the University of Maryland. I'm a Terp. Um, Not too long after that, I started work in the city of Mount Rainier, spent there a couple months. I went to the city of Laurel, spent there a couple months. The EDC brought me on as a small business program assistant, and I'm happy to say that, you know, now I'm the small business development manager. A little bit of what I do here, you know, if you're a primary stage businesses, I'm helping you out, whether it's a business plan, site selection, you know, getting ready to do business with the government, all those sorts of things. Whenever we get blessed, you know, we have the opportunity to put on training programs for the residents of the county, you know, and all in an entrepreneurial spirit. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. And on occasion, I like to hoop, you know.
Wonderful. So, Cesar, tell me what you are most proud of.
Oh, yeah. I think, you know, starting right off the bat with very strong questions, Carla. I appreciate that. Um, I'm proud of, I think in the past, well, since I've started my career, I think, I mean, I'm proud of everything that I've done, but I think I'm the most proud of, you know, my involvement with this Grow Prince George's program, just being able to work with, you know, a multitude of people here in Prince George's County, you know, kind of helping build where I live, helping the people where I live build themselves, you know, I love it. I really do. So, yeah. You know, and to give you context on Grow Prince George's, you know, we put out a multitude of programs since I believe like 2023, 2022, sometime around then, you know, having to do with all sorts of things, you know, taxes, QuickBooks, artificial intelligence. You know, we worked with the University of Maryland at one point to put on the first series of AI for small business classes.
Oh, cool.
You know, all those kinds of extravagant things. You know,
Yeah.
I'm definitely proud of, you know, being able to help serve my community.
Okay, so that's wonderful. When you mention AI, because I really enjoy AI. Tell me what you've learned from the residents when you all presented AI and something that they can actually learn. What did you learn about the residents?
Oh yeah. I I want to say that, you know, I was surprised to learn that the residents didn't know what it could be used for. I mean, we hear about AI on the news, AI, this and that, and
Yeah,
you know, OpenAI got ChatGPT and Claude and this and that. But I don't think people have yet fully realized the capabilities of what is possible to do with AI. You know, me myself, I use it to help develop business plans and things like that. But I've seen people use it to build their websites. I've
yeah,
seen folks use it to, you know, schedule their posts on Facebook and Twitter and, you know, all beyond my knowledge. But, you know, it's impressive what people can do. And I was surprised to see that, you know, not many folks, especially the first time around that we did this training, you know, they just weren't aware of the capabilities, you know, especially for solo entrepreneurs, being able to integrate all these tools. You know, it's really important because, you know, as you might know, beginning as an entrepreneur, you know, you're playing all the roles, you know, accountant, CEO, manager, all of it, all of it. But yeah.
that's pretty cool. It's good that you can see how if a person is an entrepreneur, how they can use it, how they can access it. And I always say that AI cannot replace human beings. It's an assistant. It helps you. It's an assistant.
Exactly. Exactly.
Whether you use it as different, what do you call them, bots and ChatGPT or whatever, it still is an assistant to your business. It's not the business or it's not the CEO.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I really want to emphasize that it's a tool to be used. You know, you have your idea. You can't have the machine create your idea. You can have the machine refine your ideas, but
Yes.
even then, you know, it needs that human touch.
Yes,
Or else it's just
absolutely.
not, you know, yeah.
And it's something you said, ChatGPT and Claude, because I'll take ChatGPT information, I'll place it in Claude, and then I'll put it back over ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, "Oh, Carla, you've done such a wonderful job."
No, but it's good. That's good. From what I've learned in the 2, 3 years of, integrating AI into what I do, it's good to use a variety of LLMs is what they call them, just to double check, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Cesar, I'm going to ask you a crazy question.
Okay.
Okay. And I said back in September or October because I think we met again at we did. We met it again at another event, maybe October from Prince George's County. But anyway, and I asked you to speak Spanish during this. So before that, I need to ask, now you're going to say, that's a crazy question. What's the difference? I'm going to get cultural now. What's the difference between a Latino and Hispanic?
Oh, okay. I don't want to get this wrong.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, and now this has been, a topic of discussion when talking about Latin, Hispanic identity. So Hispanic refers to people with ancestry from like Spanish-speaking country, including Spain, but Latino has to do with origins in Latin America, including Brazil, excluding Spain. If that makes sense.
Including Brazil, but excluding Spain.
For Latino, yeah. I think Latino is encompassing like Central South America, all of the Americas. And now Hispanic refers to, peoples of Spanish, Portuguese descent.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yes. I never had it explained to me that way because I've actually looked it up and I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. It's very intricate. And I mean, this thing got roots back to the 60s where, people were, I think Chicanos were like trying to assimilate and, thus became the question on census, are you white or Latino or white Latino? I think something along the lines of that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Generations ago.
Okay. So I was so impressed when I attended the Hispanic breakfast in September.
I appreciate it.
And I can't remember the lady who she invited me.
It was actually the first time I had moderated in Spanish. So
really? I think Cesar's something's going on with his audio. Something's going on with his audio here. Well, I'll continue until Cesar is able to return. One of the things I was so impressed with when I attended the Hispanic breakfast, I was just so impressed with the actual the Hispanic Latino, the actual team. I wouldn't say team there, but the residents of Prince George's County and how they supported one another. And then they had the panel, which I saw Cesar on, and I thought, this is so impressive because they had the same problems as everyone else, but they did it as a community. And one of the ladies was from El Salvador, and she owned a restaurant, or she owns a restaurant in our county. And she talked about how she was able to move from El Salvador to Prince George's County, Maryland. And she said the reason why was because of the community. I thought, this is fantastic. Hey, Cesar, since welcome back.
Hello.
Since you had an audio break, I was just saying how I was so impressed at the Prince George's County Hispanic breakfast because I so enjoyed watching the people in the different panels, because I believe they had 3 different panels. But I appreciated the fact that they were able to work together as a team. And one of the ladies who owned a restaurant, she came here specifically because of the community. And one of the other ladies who was, I think she was a mayor of Mount Rainier one time, but she said that's the reason why she came, because of the community. And I said, that is so fantastic that you would travel from another country to the United States, to Maryland. I just think Maryland's regular, to Maryland, to Prince George's County because of the community. And she opened up a restaurant and it's successful.
Absolutely. I mean, I love stories like that. It just goes to show that these are very hardworking people,
Yeah.
and a lot of times just the barriers to opportunity, that's kind of why I do what I do. I want to be able to assist. I want to be able to give these people the chance at an equal opportunity. And I want to say thank you, for your comments on the event. That was actually the first time I had moderated in Spanish. So I was a little nervous up there, but hopefully it was good.
Yes.
But you're right. I was very, very happy to see all of the community come out and share their story. Everybody had a different story, but it's a story always of perseverance.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's what they shared during the while they were on the panel. They shared about being just having that endurance with community, but just having that natural endurance just continue on, because owning a business, you're going to have your ups and downs, you're going to have your highs and lows on a
Absolutely.
daily, hourly basis. I do want to give a shout out to your brother William Cucufate.
Yes,
Oh, he
William.
said great
Thank you.
episode so far.
I appreciate it. And my
Oh,
apologies for my connection issues. So
no
I'll be
problem at
here
all.
though.
No problem at all. Hey, this is part of life and technology. So Cesar, I want to ask you a
Fantastic.
leadership question. Pardon me.
Hmm?
So, excuse me. Um, as far as leadership and failures, because I mentioned about the highs and lows, what's your biggest leadership failure, and what did you learn from it that still shapes you in your leadership today?
So I think I'd like to say one of my initial and like bigger leadership failures was thinking leadership meant having all the answers, you know, especially, I'm in the initial stage of my career. I'd like to think, I'm about 4 years, 5 years into economic development. And I remember initially, I just felt like I had to have everything ready to go for everybody who came across with a question.
Yeah.
That pressure to solve every problem, um, to be the best possible person for people to rely on. I learned it's not about having all the answers, but being there, creating the environment where a solution can emerge, not moving too quickly, listening fully, investing my attention into, the problem at hand and the best possible solution to help whoever it may be. But yeah, I'd like to think that, just overextending myself was kind of a failure, in leadership and being effective. And it kind of just reshaped how I lead, so to speak. I'm more focused on empowering others, um, creating space for ideas, building the systems for the people, but and not just solving an individual problem. It's about building the capacity in others to do so. So yeah,
Beautiful, beautiful. What do you
thank you.
notice the difference between working within the county, and you all have opportunities to, of course, work with the state, and
Right.
then I also believe the county is working with, I can't remember, there's an Asian country, I can't remember if it's Korea or someone else, but anyway, what are the differences that you notice between our county and another Maryland county?
Okay, I'll say that we are unique in the sense of, well, not just culturally, but in the sense of, our workforce. We have had a lot of layoffs because of, the numerous federal agencies cutting back. Um, I think Prince George's County is kind of poised to be the innovator in that sense in solving that problem. Kind of positioning ourselves as leaders for federal employees to solo entrepreneurs. I also like to think that we are extending ourselves a little more so internationally. As you just mentioned, we're doing a lot of work with Korea. I believe they just had a trade mission in September and they're going to be going back this fall. Um, I think, not to say that the counties surrounding us are not investing in other opportunities, but I think Prince George's County is doing a fantastic job in being able to obtain those opportunities, be it investment here or outside, Korean investment, but also transforming, what seems like bleak times into opportunity, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. For
Okay.
example, we've been putting on our federal resource fairs. We're encouraging people to come out and learn a little bit about, that transition. So yeah, Prince George's County, we're the bomb. We're the bomb. That's all I got to
Agreed. 100%.
say.
Or as this news lady, she often says, "Gorgeous Prince George's
Hey,
County."
that's right. Gorgeous Prince George's. Learn and live it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So while I thoroughly enjoy living in Prince George's County, what does your future look like beyond working for the county?
Oh, me myself. Oof. Well, in my vision, I mean, I'd like to be here as long as possible. As I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, this is my home. I've been here 20 plus, 25 plus years. Like I this is my home. I want to help build it, and I want to help the future generations continue doing the same. I want to help Prince George's County become, everything that it should be. I remember in the initial stage of my career, one of I believe Westmore's slogans is that Maryland, we're asset rich and strategy poor. And being involved here in a county setting, like, I see it. I witness what he's talking about. We have the assets. We just need to be strategic about how we do so and about how we empower future generations. So me myself, I see myself here for a very long time. I hope so. Outside of that, maybe one day I'll go back to one of these local municipalities, maybe Laurel, run a Main Street program, something like that, working very within the community. But in the meantime, I have this grander vision. I'd love to help all the Prince Georges possible, and yeah, help everybody build their own legacies.
Yeah. Yeah. So that makes me think of two questions. So you
Yes,
have a heart to serve. I can tell.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so.
You do. It's a
Absolutely.
wonderful thing. You have a heart to serve your community. What if? Okay, this is. I'm gonna throw the question out there anyway. What if someone sees Cesar Cucufate and says, "You know what? I'm in Oregon, and he is serving Prince George's County like a mad dog. I want him over here." Okay, what are Caesar's thoughts about that?
you know, I'd love to eventually, once I have the experience under my belt, um, you know, the skills, the knowledge of all things development, maybe one day, perhaps I'll go to Oregon, I'll go to California, I'll go to Florida, do economic development there. But, I think I'm tied to my homeland.
Yes.
Like I'm here, I'm stuck in a good way, in a good
Yes.
way. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Oregon can wait. Oregon can wait. We'll
Yeah.
be all right.
And you know what? This is and I hear you. So I was born in Washington, D.C., and then at the age of 8, we moved to Maryland. And when I worked for the Navy years ago, people were so surprised that, Carla, you've only lived in two places? Because DC is a transit area.
Yeah,
People
absolutely.
from all over the world. It's just not the country, but all over the world. So people were shocked. I said, yeah, we left when I was 8, and I've either lived in Prince George's County in Maryland or Anne Arundel County. I haven't lived anyplace else. And they're always shocked. But there's just something about Maryland that's sweet.
Yes, you're not wrong. I mean, it's beautiful out here. I mean, my story is essentially the same. I grew up in DC. I was born in DC, grew up in DC till I was 4, moved to Prince George's County, right on the outskirts in Hyattsville.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
been there since. Been there since. And I like to refer back to when people say Maryland is America in miniature. You
Yes.
got beaches, you got forests, you got all kinds of everything. But in particular here, the DC metropolitan area, uh, Fairfax, Prince George's County, Montgomery County, we have like a very unique bubble here.
Mhm.
you know, and to any viewers out there, if you have not come to experience this bubble, you should. It's one of a kind. I like to think there's nowhere else like it in the United States, but to be able to have grown up here, it's just I feel blessed. It's been a unique experience. I don't think I'd give it up for anything else, and I mean I want to be able to continue that experience for youngins like me,
Yeah.
the next generation, to be able to inspire them to build here as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what kind of leadership legacy do you want to leave in the communities that you serve? And you kind of answered it, but let's develop that a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, the way I feel like I've served communities thus far is programming, things here and there, but I want to create and lead pathways, help them build something that lasts. If here in Grow Prince George's via this program, I can leave a legacy to inspire people to be doing the same, outside of, EDC services. If people can go and teach their community members on what they've learned, that would be awesome. I hope to leave a legacy of access, possibility, opportunity. I want entrepreneurs to know, especially those from underserved communities, that they belong in these spaces. That their ideas have value, their leadership matters. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not about what you build for yourself. It's about what you leave for others. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I appreciate that. What are underserved communities?
What are underserved communities? Historically neglected communities, those who do not have the equal opportunities to access or equal access to opportunities, whether it be financial, educational, employment wise, all that. And that's the communities we try to serve, try to educate those who don't necessarily or could not have afforded X kind of or this kind of education or these kinds of services. That those are the communities that we're trying to serve.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're almost at the end, Cesar.
Oh, okay. Time flies.
I know time flies. This was a sweet call. I really appreciate it. So
Thank you.
I want you to close. I'll have some things to share at the very end, but I want you to close with what's authentic from leadership from your point of view. What's authentic leadership?
What's authentic leadership?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I have a couple opinions on that.
All right.
Authentic leadership. It means being open-minded, not necessarily think you might be the top dog, but you can't think like you're the top dog. You have to be open-minded, innovative. You as you grow older, you come to learn that even the folks younger than you have ideas that could inspire you yourself, or they might have good ideas that you need to help them build. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So repeat your question one more time and I can get
Sure. What's authentic leadership?
Oh yeah. So outside of being open-minded, outside of listening to your peers, the golden rule, just treat others how you want to be treated, and I think that shouldn't just apply to the workplace or leadership. Just that there should be a lifestyle model. If you lead a good life, you'll be a good leader. Just respect, open-mindedness, being able to have a conversation like us.
Yeah. Okay, now we got to take the opportunity, give your plug for Prince George's County. Gorgeous Prince George's
Oh yeah,
County.
absolutely. Yeah, if you guys have not already checked us out, again, we're Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation. You can catch us pgcedc.com. As soon as you go to the website, you can sign up for our newsletter. We do not blow up your inbox. It is once a week. BizBuzz, that's our newsletter. So check us out. Please come and talk to us. If there's anything business development related, economic development related, if you're looking to open up a business in Prince George's County or expand here, come and talk to us. Come and talk to me. you know. And Carla, again, I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been fun. You know, I used to be so nervous doing things like this, but this is, I'm elated. So thank
Oh,
you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate the fact that you said yes back in September. Okay. Okay, I got one more thing. So I have to
Yes.
stick to my word. I need you to say something in Spanish. I'm not going to understand what you're
Oh
saying,
yeah, yeah.
but
And so
say
I'll give
something
my
in
little
Spanish.
spiel I just gave. A mi gente escuchando, por favor, contáctenos acá en ¿cómo es? La Corporación de Desarrollo Económico acá en el condado de Prince George's. Estamos aquí para servirle a la gente, para ayudarles ahí con sus empresas, ayudarles a todos los empresarios y a nuestra comunidad. So come and talk to us.
All right.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That was wonderful.
Oh, I appreciate you so much,
Thank
Carla.
you. So
Thank
what
you.
we'll do, Connie, our producer, she will place your the link that you mentioned. She'll place that in the actual comments.
Okay. Yeah. And Connie, I want to give shout out to Connie too. Thank you so much for all your help. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Connie is awesome. So thank you all for joining us on Lead Like You Mean It, people. Join us every second and fourth Wednesday at noon Eastern for bold, honest conversation about leadership. And if you're serious about your next promotion, take the Hidden Promotion Killers assessment and uncover the gaps senior leadership sees, but rarely tells you about. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Cesar. We're out today.